What's up, guys? Back again with another UFC Fight Picks video on the UFC Fight Night card, Gaethje versus Vick. Let's go ahead and get started here with these Fight Pass prelims. So first fight of the night, we got Ronnie Yaya versus Luke Sanders. So I'm going to go ahead and take Luke Sanders here in this matchup. I think he's the underdog. Well, actually, the odds are, it's pretty much like a pick 'em. I guess you got Yaya as a slight favorite there, but you know, it's very slight. But I like Luke Sanders here as an underdog. I think a lot of the fights he lost, which is only 2 fights, are fights that he could have won. So, you know, I'm gonna take Sanders here. He has good power, good striking, very good output, and his takedown defense also isn't bad at all. Yaya, this guy's just a grappler. Obviously, if he gets Sanders down, obviously he's gonna be able to, you know, control the fight on the ground. Maybe we can get a submission, but I think Sanders will be able to stop the takedowns and probably just smash Yaya on the feet. So I'm going to say Sanders here is going to get a finish. I'm going to say Sanders, I'll say 3rd round knockout. And moving on now to the next fight. We got Drew Dober versus John Tuck. So you got Dober here as the favorite, negative 205. You know, pretty good favorite there. John Tuck isn't really like the best fighter, but I feel like he could still win this fight, and I think he's, you know, he's kind of like an underdog, like a sleeper, plus 175. Every single time he wins, most of the time it's by finish. He only has 1 decision win, and his last 2 losses are split decision losses. So he could have, you know, won either one of those fights, and he could have been like on a 3-fight win streak if he would have won all both those fights. So I don't think John Tuck's that bad at all. His striking's pretty good. Does have a good submission game, but he doesn't really use his ground game much, which is actually Drew Dober's weakness. So I'm not sure if he's going to use it in this fight. If he does, then, well, obviously that's going to really benefit him in the fight. But I think it's going to be like a stand-up fight. And I know Dober has good striking and whatnot. But I think John Tuck here could, you know, pose a threat on the feet. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pick the sleeper here, John Tuck, and say he's gonna win this fight by decision. It's probably gonna be a close fight. You never know, maybe he could get a knockout. He has good power, but Dober also has a really good chin. So either John Tuck, you know, if he uses grappling, he might be able to get a submission win. But I really don't see him using that grappling because he doesn't really go for those takedowns. So I do see him just being kind of a stand-up fight. So I'm just going to go ahead and say John Tuck's probably just somehow going to outpoint Dober and win by decision. So moving on to the next fight, we got Calderwood versus Kalindra Figueiredo on the featured fight on the Fight Pass prelims. I'm going to go ahead and take Joanne Calderwood, JoJo. Obviously, she's just going to look really good at this weight class. At 115, you know, she was just suffering too much from the weight cut. At this weight class, she has a lot more energy, more power. Way more output, and should just be like a lot better in this weight class. So I'm going to take JoJo to win this fight. She's pretty decent sized favorite. Well, actually now it's negative 162. I think she was a bigger favorite before, so people are starting to pick Figueiredo here in this matchup. But I'm still going to take Calderwood here. I think she's the better striker, and overall I think she'll just win the fight. I'll say Calderwood by decision. Moving on to the next fight, FS2 prelims. We got Mickey Gall versus George Sullivan. So I'm going to take Gall here in this matchup. All his wins are by finish. All by submission there, obviously, as you guys can see there. He has good takedowns. His opponent is a better striker than him, but his takedown defense is pretty bad. And I think Gall here should be able to take him down, possibly work for some sort of submission and get the submission finish here in this matchup. So I'm going to say Gall, 2nd round submission. Moving on to the next fight, we got Andrew Sanchez versus Marcus Perez. A pretty close fight here, as you guys can see by the odds, negative 120 plus 100 for Perez. I'm gonna go ahead and take Andrew Sanchez here in this matchup. He did get knocked out in both of his last 2 fights, so I don't know if his chin's you know, still trustworthy, but I don't think Marcus Perez is that big of a power puncher, so I'm going to go and take Sanchez. I think Sanchez's takedown game is going to be able to win him the fight, and I think he'll just win by points just by doing that. So I'll take Sanchez by decision. moving on to the next fight, Corey Sandhagen versus Yuri Alcantara. Very easy fight to pick. I'm taking Corey Sandhagen here in this matchup. Pretty good favorite, negative 220. Sandhagen looked pretty good in his UFC debut against Arnett. Very high striking output. Alcantara has very low striking output, and he's just getting older. And yeah, I just see Sandhagen getting a finish here and getting the win. So I'll take Sandhagen probably by third round knockout. And now for the featured fight on the prelims, you got James Krause versus Warley Alvis. A pretty easy fight to pick. I'll take Alvis here in this matchup all day. He's big favorite, negative 380. His opponent, Krause, just really isn't that great. I think Alvis wins this fight anywhere. I think he has better striking, and he also has good grappling, good takedown defense to to take away those takedowns from James Krause. But I see this being a stand-up fight, and I see Alvis just being able to outstrike him and just beat him up on the feet. So I'll take Alvis by decision. But with Alvis, he does pose that guillotine threat, so he might be able to get a submission win also. But still, Alvis by decision is official pick. Alright guys, moving on to the main card. We got Eryk Anders versus Tim Williams. So this is just like an easy, really easy pick. I mean, you got Anders negative 1,000. So obviously I'm just not going to pick Tim Williams. Yeah, this guy got knocked out in his debut. Anders has a lot of power. He's pretty much mostly knocking everybody out. And yeah, I see him getting another first round knockout win here. And yeah, I see Tim Williams being KO'd. So Eryk Anders, first round knockout. Alright, so now next fight you got Moraga versus Davison Figueiredo. So I'm going to take Figueiredo in this matchup. This guy's 14-0. He's undefeated. Moraga's, he's been looking great lately. But I still think Figueiredo here, he's just one of these up-and-comers. He's hungry. He's very strong in his weight class. And he has a good well-rounded MMA game. He has good striking, good submission game. Good grappling also. He takes people down. Has power in his punches, so I just think he's rounded everywhere, and yeah, I think he's gonna be able to slightly outpoint Moraga here in this matchup, even though he does have a lot of finishes. But Moraga's pretty tough, so I'll say Figueiredo by decision. Next fight here, guys, we got Jake Ellenberger versus Brian Barbarina. So obviously, Ellenberger's just been looking pretty shitty lately. I think I picked him in that last fight, and I regretted it. I can't believe. He got knocked out, with the body shot by, I forgot what, I already forgot that guy's name. I don't know. I think it's Ben Saunders, I think it was. Either way, he hurt him to the body, whatever. Ellenberger went down, and I'm like, man, I'm not going to pick Ellenberger no more. So I'm going to take Barbarina here, guys. I mean, part of me still wants to kind of pick him for some reason. Because, I mean, does have good striking. He has good power. He has wrestling, but obviously he doesn't use it no more. And the wrestling game would really help him in this matchup, but I just don't really, I don't see the hunger no more in Ellenberger. Even though this is probably going to be his last UFC fight, so he has to come in hungry. But I just can't, I just can't pick him here as an official pick. Maybe if you want to throw him on a DraftKings lineup and hope he wins, maybe that'll work. But as an official pick, I got to take Barbarina here, guys. So I'm going to take Barbarina, and I say he'll get the knockout because Ellenberger's chin is pretty bad. So I'll say Barbarina, second round knockout. Moving on to the next fight, Courtney Casey versus Angela Hill. So I'll go ahead and take Angela Hill here in this matchup. She's been looking pretty good lately. Has very high striking output. I see this fight being a stand-up fight, which Angela Hill is the superior striker here in the matchup. Hill is a very slight favorite, but yeah, I see her getting it done, and I see her winning by decision more than likely. And now moving on to the co-main event here, guys, we got Michael Johnson versus Andre Fili. So I got to take Michael Johnson here in this matchup. I think this is a good matchup for him against Andre Fili. Andre Fili, he likes to grapple, likes to go for takedowns, but I still think he's more of a striker. And Michael Johnson obviously is a striker. He likes to strike. And Michael Johnson's striking, I think, is a lot better than Fili's. He has way better boxing, really fast hands. Also has some really good kicks, and also he has pretty good takedown defense. So I don't see Fili really getting him down at all. I see Michael Johnson just kind of boxing him up and just beating him up, maybe even getting the knockout. If not, he'll really just smash him the whole time. But I mean, you got this fight now as an even money fight, and I don't know why that is. I really feel like Johnson should be the favorite. I don't know how the fuck. I think the line was a lot higher for Johnson. I don't know how it went to even money line as a pick'em. So yeah, I gotta take Johnson here, guys. I think that's a mistake there in the bookies. I know Johnson has some losses here and there, but yeah, I mean, Andre Fili, I don't think he's gonna be able to win this fight. So I'll take Johnson, and you know, he does have power in this weight class. Fili seems pretty damn durable though, so you know what? I'll just say Johnson by decision. All right, guys, it's time for the main event. We got Justin Gaethje versus James Vick. So kind of an easy fight for me to pick here. I'm gonna take James Vick, guys. I gotta be smart. Gotta pick the smart pick here, which is James Vick. He's just gonna be, you know, he's just too long, too rangy for Gaethje. And even though James Vick, you know, he's pretty damn skinny, so you know Gaethje might be able to chop his legs off with those leg kicks, but I feel like Vick is just gonna be able to keep that distance. He's gonna be able to check those kicks, and just kind of just counter Gaethje the whole fight with his boxing. He has really good boxing. His ground game also isn't that bad. He has very good submission skills. Gaethje doesn't really like to wrestle. As you guys can see, he has no takedowns in his UFC career so far. Gaethje's going to bring the pressure, though. He's going to be all up in James Vick's face. Vick's probably going to be moving and punching. And he'll just be able to just eventually hurt Gaethje to the face or to the chin. Whatever. He's going to eventually hurt him with the punches. Maybe even a knee or whatever. Maybe even a kick. And he'll be able to get the finish. So I don't think Gaethje here is going to be able to survive all 5 rounds, or Vick. So someone's going to get finished here for sure in this fight. But I got to say Vick here is the one that's going to get the finish. So I got to pick Vick. And say Vick probably wins probably in the 4th round by knockout, guys. I think the first 2 rounds, obviously Gaethje is going to be really strong. And, you know, eventually he's going to start getting tired. He's going to start getting beat up more. And that's when, you know, Vick is going to start taking over and get that finish. So I'll take James Vick, like I said, by 4th round knockout. All right, guys, so that does it for the picks. So let me give you guys my most confident picks. Obviously, I got to put Eryk Anders here at number 1. Second most confident, Barbarina. And third most confident, Alvis. So those are the top 3 most confident picks. Least confident pick, who do we got? Who do we got here? Least confident pick. I don't know. Maybe just John Tuck. I mean, he's a sleeper though, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess John Tuck will be my least confident pick because he's a sleeper, but you know, I still think he could probably win that fight. But yeah, anyways, that does it for my picks here, guys. Let me know who you guys got in the comments, who you guys picked in these matchups. And yeah, hopefully you guys win some money and enjoy the fights. And yeah, should be a good night of fights here. Alright, guys, so that's going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Support the channel. And yeah, guys, catch you guys on the next one.